Da da da.
Regardless of his politics or lack thereof, depending on whose opinion you subscribe to and whose opinion you look to because you're politically on the left or politically on the right. Well, we can all agree that Kanye West's career is pretty astounding. I have to admit that. In not only his music career, but I guess his clothing career. I'm not sure. I don't wear his stuff, obviously, because it's probably too expensive. And I don't know, it's not my style. Just don't do it. But hey, more power to him. And ever since he sort of came out and sort of said, he loves Trump, he loves Clinton, he doesn't want, animosity. He's sort of, I guess he hit an epiphany of some sort, and that's good. He doesn't seem crazy compared to, when he got up on the stage with what's her face and goes, "She doesn't deserve it, Beyonce does." The old Taylor Swift thing, but then he says, was it George Bush doesn't like black people or something like that? That was earlier, and I guess earlier in his life. Obviously, seems like he's grown. Politically, I don't know where he's at. He may be right of center, he may be center, he may be left of center. It doesn't really matter. But sometimes he says some things that are pretty interesting, such as this from Breitbart. Kanye West: "It is racism and white supremacy to say all black people need to be Democrat." That's something I've said before, not in that particular sentence. Or I said something like, "It is racist for white Democrats to make sure that black people become Democrat, because if you're not Democrat, then you ain't black, according to Joe Biden." So, interestingly enough, he said some pretty interesting things, especially in this comment over here. It says, Kanye West: "Planned Parenthood placed in cities by white people." I cannot disagree with him. He has some truth there. Think about where most of the abortion clinics are. They're in predominantly black neighborhoods, Democrat-run cities, blue cities. That is dare I say, a claim or a charge I put out that if I do some research, I can probably back that up. Now, are there abortion clinics such as Planned Parenthood in white, predominantly suburban areas? Possibly. What I think for the most part, they're in the inner cities where the African American community reside. And it's sort of interesting to actually even think, why would you do that? Well, you got to think about from a business point of view. If all your businesses, or if the majority of your business are in a certain area, you're going to open up more shops there. You get my point? It's kind of evil to think that Planned Parenthood would set up more shops in predominantly African American communities to garner business. That seems kind of messed up, honestly. Grammy-winning rapper and fashion mogul Kanye West ripped Joe Biden and declared that the Democratic Party has controlled black Americans to the point that this white man can tell a black man, "If you don't vote for me, you're not black." I mean, is he not wrong? Of course he's 100% correct. That is a form of racism and white supremacy and white control to say that all black people need to be Democrat, and to assume that me running is splitting the vote. All that information is being charged up on social media platforms by Democrats, Kanye West said in a lengthy interview with Forbes magazines. And Democrats used to tell me the same Democrats have threatened me. The reason why this is the first day I registered to vote is because I was scared. I was told that if I voted on Trump, my music career would be over. Maybe his mainstream movie or music career maybe possibly hindered a bit. I kind of doubt it, because people will like Kanye West regardless if they don't like his politics, which is kind of weird that they liked him, that they thought he was on his side. Now they don't like him because he actually gave Trump a thumbs up, even Hillary Clinton a thumbs up, says he likes them both. I don't see how that's contentious, but it will be contentious because you can only like one person. Politically speaking, you cannot waver right of Pol Pot, Lenin, and Stalin. You can't do that. Once you're on that side, you can't drift over towards the center or even into the right territory, which would seem for the case of Kanye West here, where he did dip his toe into right of center politics. Kinda. Not much. I was threatened to be in one party. It was threatened as a celebrity into being in one party. I was threatened as a black man into the Democratic Party, West said. The Grammy winner tore into former vice president turned presidential candidate Joe Biden over his declaration in May that black Americans ain't black if they choose to support Donald Trump in the November election. And that's what the Democrats are doing emotionally to my people, threatening them to the point where this white man can tell a black man, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. The Jesus Walks crooner also explained why he tweeted over the weekend that he is running for president of the United States, saying he was serious as well as dedicated to winning like anything I've done before in my life. I'm doing it to win. The rapper also added he's running for president in 2020 under a new banner, the Birthday Party. With guidance from Elon Musk as yet unknown vice presidential candidate he's already chosen. Some of these comments are pretty interesting. It says, this Marxist way. Those that control the language control the agenda. KW did a good job here saying this out loud. Yes. What Kanye West said here is completely 100% correct. Did he say it eloquently? Possibly not, but it was probably from the heart. And a lot of times when I say things, from the heart or something pisses me off, I mix my words up. I don't pronounce them correctly, but I don't script a lot of this. I'd say 99% of the stuff I have on here, with the videos I do, it's not scripted. And I don't see a reason to do anything scripted because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem genuine. If I see a story I like, I talk about it. As far as Kanye West here running for president, I don't know how effective it's going to be. However, he may bring things to the forefront for both candidates, Trump and Biden, well, they're going to have to respond to. And that's probably a good idea. Where he's going to bring some sort of, social construct up or social ill up and say, hey, why don't you guys talk about this? And they do. But notice how here he hasn't said anything negative that I know right now about Donald Trump. Nothing. He bashed Joe Biden. Maybe it may come sooner or later. Who knows? But I think that this may be a good thing. Like I said, he's gonna bring up some things that both sides, the left and the right, are gonna have to talk about. Good. As far as him having a good chance, I don't know, honestly, if he's gonna pull more votes from left or the right. Now, do I think that people who are usually Trump supporters are going to go, I'm going to vote for Kanye? No. Do I think people who don't really like Biden, but they're going to vote for anyways, are going to go, you know what, I'm going to vote for this guy just because, screw the system. I can see that. I see more votes, not by much, being pulled from Joe Biden than actual Donald Trump. Will that affect the election? Maybe locally. I don't see how he could, sway the election and say like swing states like Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, Florida. I don't see it, but I do see some people will vote for him as a protest, which is fine. I don't see him garner any electoral votes. Now, I'd be surprised if he did. It'd be kind of funny, honestly. But again, I just don't see the negative aspect of him running for president. More power to him. This is a free country. If he wants to run for president and he wants to spend the money, more power to him. And I hope the best for him. Obviously, I've stated in the past I'm going to be voting for Trump, obviously. I would never, ever vote for Joe Biden. Now, do I dare say this is an election of, the lesser of two evils? No. Joe Biden is evil because he's a puppet. He's basically an empty suit locked in his basement. And they're basically, throwing stuff to him and saying, here, say this. Okay, blah, 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 and he messes up. Okay, that's fine. The real power for the Biden campaign is when he selects the vice president. That person will be more important than Joe Biden, because that person will, if Joe Biden unfortunately gets elected, that person will be in control. So when we look at this presidential campaign and election coming up in November, all eyes are on the vice presidential pick for Joe Biden. That's it, because Biden ain't gonna last. He's out of his freaking gourd. And with Trump, we already know what we're getting. What we're not going to get is leftism, communism, socialism in the cities burning down. They still may, but they'll be worse under Biden. At least when and if Donald Trump wins, he'll put the smack down. I would hope so, especially for his base supporters, that he puts a smackdown on the blue cities and the blue states, that if they stop, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for here, the correct term, I don't know, stop the, if they refuse to enforce the law, then you're going to see Donald Trump come out when he's got, another 4 more years and he doesn't have to be reelected. You'll see some action. Obviously, he can't do anything right now, because if he were to overstep his federal bounds against the states, you would see a lot more animosity. So, again, in conclusion here, Kanye West, good for him. Maybe he'll bring some things to the forefront, maybe not. But, again, it's a free country. If he wants to run for president, more power to him.